when we're working in the health field, and especially when we're working with calculating dosages of medicine, there are times that we have to convert from one unit of measure to another. For example, let's say that the doctor had prescribed that the patient should receive 0.6 gram of a particular drug. And we want to know how many milligrams is equivalent to that 0.6 gram. That's the process that we need to go through, this conversion from one unit of measure to another. Because perhaps we're going to be giving the dosage of the drug in tablets, and the tablets are measured in milligrams. Then we would need to know what's the equivalent of this 0.6 gram in milligrams, so we could then figure out how many tablets we should give that patient. The process that we use to convert from one unit of measure to another is called dimensional analysis. The reason it's called dimensional analysis is because we focus on the dimensions, and the dimensions are the units of measure. So the dimension here is grams, the dimension here is milligrams. And we use an analysis of the dimensions to make that conversion for us. In this instance, to tell us how many milligrams are equivalent to having 0.6 gram. And the process we go through involves using what I call conversion fractions. The textbook calls them unit fractions. Unit meaning they are equal to 1. The quantity in the numerator is the same amount as the quantity in the denominator. They may have different units of measure, but they are measuring the actual physical same amount. So again, that's the unit, that's 1. And that's why the text calls them unit fractions. I call them conversion fractions because that's what they're helping us do, convert from one unit of measure to another. In order to use this process of dimensional analysis, we have to learn equivalences. And your textbook has a number of equivalences, and they've been identified to you as far as what you need to study and memorize as far as equivalences. And if we think about the equivalences between grams and milligrams, we see that 1 gram is measuring the same physical amount as 1,000 milligrams. If we had, and grams and milligrams are used to measure weight in the metric system. The metric system is one of our systems of measurement. So if we had 1 gram sitting on the table and we had 1,000 milligrams sitting on the table, it would physically be the same amount. It would physically be the same amount. So using this equivalence, we can create a conversion fraction that will enable us to convert what 0.6 gram is into the correct quantity of milligrams. And the way we use this dimensional analysis process and the way we use conversion fractions is through a series of multiplications where we multiply by these conversion fractions. What we want to have happen is we want to have the grams to be canceled out and the milligrams to be left. The way that can be done is by putting in a conversion fraction with grams in the denominator and milligrams in the numerator. If you recall, when you multiply, remember when you multiply fractions, if you have something like 12 times 2 over 3, remember how you can cancel? The 3 can go into the 3 one time, the 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 4 times 2 would give us an answer then of 8. That type of canceling is what we can also do with the dimensions. So in this case, I want to cancel the grams. So the grams has to be here in the denominator. And I want to end up with milligrams, so milligrams has to be in the numerator. And then I put in the numbers that come from the equivalence. 1,000 is is with milligrams when 1 is with grams. And so now these dimensions will cancel, and those dimensions canceling leave me the dimension of milligrams, which is what I wanted. And now it's just a matter of doing the arithmetic, 6/10 times 1,000. And you remember the easy way to multiply by 1,000? The easy way to multiply by 1,000 is to move the decimal point to the right. And we move it 1, 2, 3 places to the right, 1 place for every 0. So moving the decimal point 3 places to the right here would give us 600. So a measurement of 600 milligrams is physically the same amount of weight as a measurement of 6/10 of a gram. And so now perhaps we have capsules or tablets that are 60 milligrams apiece. We could then figure out, and we'll get to those kinds of problems later as we work through the course, we could then figure out how many capsules you should give that patient. Perhaps you're giving them the capsules, the tablets, to take home for a certain amount of time throughout the week. And this was the total amount of drug, so then you would know how many milligrams, and we could convert that number of milligrams to capsules. So this process, called dimensional analysis, is the process we use to convert from one unit of measure to another. And this is what we're going to be doing extensively in this class as we study calculating medical dosages.